Sometime last week, the Port Harcourt home of one-time lawmaker Senator Maeba was invaded by suspected political thugs, and in the aftermath, fingers are being pointed in all directions, including a certain view that it could have been a product of the crisis that continues to dog the opposition People's Democratic Party. With just a couple of months to the presidential elections, well, Senator Maeba joins us now to discuss the crisis within the party and efforts at resolving it, as well as Atiku's chances in the face of opposition by the governor, Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, his group, to the presidential candidacy and many other things. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Senator.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's quite unfortunate, the events that happened in your house last week. Can you tell us whether or not there are investigations ongoing, if any headway has been made, and whether or not this is politically motivated?
Well, I will not be able to tell if investigation is going on, but I know the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State come on Friday morning. This thing happened on Thursday, and when he came with his team. They assessed the damage and looked at all that happened, and he left. And what he did is that there has been a police present around the premises, around the street. And so I cannot tell if investigation as to who does this or who did that is going on. But I am very sure it's politically motivated. I was targeted. Sometime in July this year, there was a news item on Facebook when one McPherson said that he was aware of a meeting that took place in Government House where it was alleged then that I would be attacked in the form of mob action. And it was very clear. Everybody saw it on Facebook. I raised the alarm. I spoke to some news houses, and they were aware. And then they played down on it. But what happened on Thursday was just a complete realization of that story. It happened. My home was flooded with mobs, thugs, brandishing guns, and I was lucky that I was not at home. So if I was at home, I think you can imagine what is the intentions of thugs, numbering hundreds, storm into a single home, tried to break through the security door and they couldn't, and at their frustration, break the glasses of the house and then descended on the vehicles. I'm sure you know that that was not a rare, or not, that was not a group of choir singing boys who came to maybe praise God with me. I'm sure you know the truth.
Well, according to Chris Finebone, that's the Commissioner for Information and Communication in Rivers State, he says that you stayed manage your own misfortune because you're trying to muddle up the waters to achieve a preconceived narrative aimed at hoodwinking the public for political reasons. Can you react to that?
This is the first time I know that I don't have, with all due respect to the albino community, and that man, I think, is an albino man, and I did not know that the albinos are very wicked. That is a very wicked albino man, because for that man to have said that I state managed hundreds of mobs to my own home, to injure my senior brother, put him at gunpoint, and alleged to tell him that, look, if we have found your brother, this bullet was not for you, it was for him. All this story challenging the governor would have ended now. I mean, and for that man to have come out as Commissioner for Information, the spokesman of the government, is strange. Which means he actually knew what happened. And I wonder Why the security agencies have not invited him to narrate how I arrange talks, gun wedding talks. Everybody know me in Rivers State. I don't have a talk. Everybody, the whole government, every security personnel knows that I am one politician who does not patronize thuggery. I have won all my elections. I got to the Senate at the age of 36. I have been involved in party politics since I was 15. So I don't know how that man come to the realization that I organized the talk. So this is a very good lead. The IG is hearing him. The National Security Advisor hear him. So he should be the one to be arrested to narrate how I organized the talks, because I don't think it's normal.
Also, in the reports we read, we heard that during your time of distress, you did reach out to a few security services in order to get their attention, but were unable to make contact with any of them. I'm wondering if any of them have issued any sort of apologies, or whether or not they're going to be taking up this case personally as to the situation that you were in.
Apart from the commissioner for police that came to my house on Friday morning with another deputy commissioner and assessed the situation and left, nobody have called me. There have been no follow-up. I have been at the mercy of God Almighty.
Now, you were once a close associate of Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, but it's clear that you're falling out over your support for Atiku Abubakar. So how well do you think Atiku will perform in the 2023 general election, especially in Rivers State, without the governor's support and the other G5 governors?
Well, I don't know about G5. I know about Rivers State. Nyesom Wike is a product of the PDP in Rivers State. I was a foundation member of the PDP in 1998. Between that and now, we have had a party that have produced governors like Governor Peter Odili, Governor Celestine Omeya, Governor Amechi, and himself, Governor Wike. All this time, we have always had disagreement in the party. But our disagreement has always been resolved when we go out for electioneering. This time around, there was primary. Primaries that I seated down here. I wanted to be governor of Rivers State, but he didn't favor me. And the process was not free and fair. But still, I believe in our party. There is no gubernatorial primaries that have not thrown up candidates. Once I'm getting disappointment, but at the end of the day, it's always one candidate that emerges. And since we are all part of the party, since we all agree in the process, we always take it, even when you are wounded. I was wounded, but I took no other action. Then there was presidential primaries. And let me put it on record. Governor Wike said we urged him to run for president. Yes, we did. Because we also wanted a Rivers man to be a president. I follow him to 22 states, and this is on record, campaigning all around. After the presidential primaries, as a party man, I respect the decision of the party and the emergence of Atiku Abubakar. So, in our party, once a candidate emerges, you don't need the candidate to come and beg you to follow him. We follow as sincere and genuine party men. So, I shifted allegiance to Atiku. And I'm working with Atiku, and I'm trying to make sure Atiku win. And in Rivers State, a lot of us are PDP men. Everybody have one vote. It is beaver, show your face and vote. By our work, by the resolution of our party, we have 51 candidates of PDP in Rivers State, 32 House of Assembly, 13 House of Rep, 3 senators, 1 governor, and 1 president. And we are campaigning to vote 5 over 5. I don't know where I become a security risk or where my life become being aimed at from taking action to serve the same party that have brought all of us. I'm sure everybody know what we passed through in 2019 to produce Governor Wike. Everybody know What we passed through in 2019, when the federal government was more interested in our own state than our own people, and we resisted all that. So I have no problem with Governor Wike, not even an issue. We've been together for 8 years. We eat together, we travel together, we do virtually every social thing together, we do every official thing together, we do personal thing together. Our families are known to each other. If Governor Wike's children see me attacking Governor Wike, maybe calling him names, I don't think they will like it, and that is why I've not done that. I am not attacking on any media or calling him names that are unfavorable to him or his family. I have a lot of respect for his wife. My own children, when they saw some of the events that happened, when I was called names on TV by him, my children called me and said, what is happening between you and Uncle Wike? They call him uncle. They don't call him governor. So we have family ties that we must respect, because after politics, the family exists. So that is my story. My story is that Atiku will win convincingly in Rivers because all of us have not shifted base. You remember in 2007, in 2015, when Governor Amechi shifted to the APC, he could not shift with up to 20% of party or PDP members because we are resolute as members of the PDP in Rivers. Our families are PDP. Difficult to convince them otherwise. The situation now is the same again. So we are voting PDP, myself, my family, my communities, we are all voting PDP. And so we are very sure that this is a predominantly PDP state that will remain PDP.
Well, it's good to know that it's definitely, it's possible to disagree without lowering oneself to abuses and destroying any relationships that might have been created in the past. But really quickly, with the stance of Governor Wike and the stance of the party, you were talking about internal resolution mechanisms within the party that have worked before. It seems like they're not working right now. Do you see a situation, even as it's very close to the elections, do you see a situation where Atiku and Iyorchia Ayu and Governor Wike will come to some kind of conclusion and be on one page before the elections in February 2023?
I believe that there are no issues within the party that we don't have the mechanism to handle these issues. Everybody have a right to disagree, but we did not disagree as a group. Because after all these primaries, after even the presidential primaries, where Governor Wike lost, he has not called a meeting of PDP Rivers, where we all sat down and said, after this loss, what next do we do? That meeting have not come. Yes, that meeting, I have not attended any meeting like that. I have not been called for any meeting like that since the day of the primaries where Governor Wike lost it today. He have not called me. What I see has been attacks. Now, talking about Ayu and talking about Atiku, you know Atiku is a candidate of the party. I have been following up Atiku. I have been talking with him. Atiku, as a candidate of the party, does not have anywhere within the constitution of the party where a candidate become a man who can ask the national chairman to resign. No, he doesn't have that power. And meanwhile, if you ask Ayu to resign, there is Damagu, who is the deputy national chairman, from our party constitution. If anything happened to Ayu, Damagu takes over immediately. Now, I did not also see any part of our condition that can ask Ayu and Damagu to resign immediately. But that is a conflict that have been declared by the G5 governors, which I believe they know the truth, because like in the court of law, both the plaintiff and the defendant knows the truth. It's the judge that is on trial. So in this case, everybody involved in the conflict who have declared the conflict knows the truth. And I'm sure the truth will prevail. Everybody involved have a stake in the party. Governor Ikpeazu, Governor Gwain, Governor Otom are all senatorial candidates of this party. The party gave them free hand to nominate who is their gubernatorial replacements. Governor Makinde of Oyo State is contesting the second time as a governor. All of us are friends. Governor Otom was the first auditor of this party, and he has been in this party since 1999. So all of them knows the truth. And I'm very sure, like the Bible says, the truth will set you free. So I'm very sure very soon, as we approach the election, they want to win the election as senators. They want to win the election to come back as a governor. Governor Wike wants a party, a PDP, that is not cancerous, that is malaria, according to him, that he can continue his legacy. He has a gubernatorial candidate in Rivers State. If the gubernatorial candidate does not win election, what was the whole reason of supporting the party since 1999, being a member? So I'm very convinced that Governor Wike himself knows the truth, that the truth is that the PDP should continue to rule Rivers State. That is a legacy he can leave for all of us as PDP members. And you can only win in an atmosphere of peace. And the peace we are preaching, like we address the press on Monday, we want to do 5/5 the way we have always done. Right now, even the APC does not have a councillor. But if you scatter the house, if everybody go their way, we can't get that result. Because it says that beavers, there is hardly a manipulation, so you don't supervise people how they vote in their respective wards. We don't want to talk about Governor Wike because it's our party. Anything we talk to either attack his legacy, to either attack his person, is affecting our own party. We are giving chance to the opposition, and we will not give the opposition that chance. That is why we cannot be dragged into having any open confrontation with Governor Wike, because we respect our party. I respect my status as a devoted party member, and that is why I continue to exercise restraints in what I say, in what I do, in order to leave a space for us to meet again, have a handshake, eat together, drink together, so that our family will know that we have been able to overcome our political differences and families exist.
Now, Senator Maeba, thank you so much for that. But some people believe that this crisis can be traced to the fact that your party decided to throw the presidential ticket open, saying that it kind of shows a lack of internal democracy. I mean, is it really too much, to ask that there should be fairness and inclusivity in the leadership of the party? That's what Governor Wike and the other G5 governors are asking for. Isn't that what democracy is all about? They've also said it repeatedly that they are still open to reconciliation. So how come it's so difficult to resolve this crisis? How does the PDP plan to uphold democracy in Nigeria if it cannot start with the party itself?
Well, if you talk about who threw the presidential ticket open, it's Governor Otom's committee. Governor Otom was the chairman of the zoning committee. But I can tell you, from day one, we start to see this build-up. The national chairman of the last national chairman of the party was Uche Secondus. And Uche Secondus is from Rivers State. And then he was thrown up, and you see the crisis of the party that almost brought down the party. Now, it was not anybody's fault that it was a lot of manipulation. Yes. And every party member knows the manipulations. Why did the South did not produce a replacement to Secondus? Like I said, all of us in this conflict knows the truth. Both the J5, myself, and all party members who were looking at the game know the truth. Now the chairmanship moved north before the Autumn Committee came to work to zone. Now, I can tell you for free that Atiku maintained that if the micro-zoning was zoned to the southeast, he would not run. But that micro-zoning could not take place. And there was no zoning took place. The committee voted and resolved that the position of the presidential candidate is thrown open. When something is thrown open, which means the first person to blame is the zoning committee. The zoning committee know that IU was already the chairmanship candidate when they threw this open. And they would not think that nobody from the north will not win. So the first blame goes to the autumn committee. The autumn committee was actually the committee that threw the thing open when they already knew that the chairman of the party is already in the north. So who do you blame? The committee first. So now, why I'm saying this is because when you say the chairman and the presidential candidate cannot come from the same place. I have been a member of the party since 1998. I knew what happened when Ahmadu Ali was chairman and the late President Yaradua emerged as our candidate. He remained in office, they both remained in office, they're both from the north. Ali is from the north central, Yaradua from the northwest. They worked together he was president. And our party started zoning when a presidential candidate emerged as president-elect. Then you have the president. Then, right in this case, you have the president from the northeast. Then you have the vice president from the southwest. Then, from the south-south, sorry about that. Then zoning start. Where will the party chairman come from? They take it. If we have majority in the Senate, where will the Senate president come from? They take it. If we have majority in the House of Representatives, where will the speaker come from? That is the way we have been practicing zoning. That is the behavior of our party towards zoning. And so none of this has elapsed. We expect to win the presidency, and whereby there will now be zoning, like I explained to you. So in the middle of an election that we are working to seize power from a ruling government, where do we have to now do, because to take chairman back to the south require a mini convention. You can tell me how the party will suspend all campaign and focus on planning a mini convention, and after a mini convention, now plan voting at convention, produce candidate of the party who shall not be sworn in. Where do we have all this time? Like I said, everybody knows the truth. This is not practicable. This is not achievable. Why don't we go and win? When we win, we come back to the house, close the door, and blow the roof and say, this is what I want, this is what I want. It's always better to share 1% of something real than to ask for 100% of something that does not exist. That is my position.
Well, as it said, nobody wins when the family feuds. And moving into February, and especially in light of what you just recently experienced last week, and in our increasingly ethnically polarized environment that we're in terms of the political environment, do you foresee that these elections might be a little more acrimonious and dangerous than previously before? And do you have any recommendations for the security services in order to adequately prepare themselves for what might come in the next couple of months?
Well, you see, insecurity is when there is social gyration and people who are ready to cause trouble. The security agents have not asked anybody to cause trouble. In fact, the security agents are happier when nobody causes trouble. They are happier when everybody behave and respect the rule of law and keep to law and order. What is going on, my recommendation, is that politicians should, as a matter of emphasis, desist from arming youth who they are supposed to empower financially to go and be in productive ventures. Every youth who walk around me have something to do. I care for the people who walk around me. If every politician assure their group that it's now beavers, there is no hijacking of ballot box anymore. There is no hijacking of result sheet anymore. So everybody should educate their youth. Go and take your PVC and tell the youth, the boys, anybody walking around you, say, look, before we could hijack this result sheet, run away with it and write the result and boast of so many million votes, but now it's no more. That business is gone. Now, the National Assembly did a good electoral act. The president have demonstrated goodwill by signing it. So it starts from the governors, the senators, the House of Rep members, the National Assembly members, all the whole, the State Assembly. I am not contesting an election. So when somebody comes to attack me just because I'm supporting candidates of our party, it becomes strange. If nobody push these talks out, they have no job because they cannot do anything without being paid. Who paid them? Like the talks that emptied into my house. Who paid them? Why do they pay them? What did you achieve from breaking my cars and do this? It's just to heighten the security situation. Like I heard the governor say several times, peace has returned to rivers. Do we want to scatter that peace? No. So it's the duty of those in office, those contesting for offices, to say, look, we need peace. Nobody wants to go to Christmas with half hand, with injury. Everybody wants a bountiful Christmas. We want a country where our election is peaceful, nobody is injured, so that the winner can accept the result. It's like what happened in Osun State. I was there. I saw people with the enthusiasm to come and vote. And they voted for the first time our electoral system. People finished voting around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. By 6 o'clock, everybody knows the result. So I thank INEC. They have done well. But every politician should embrace the new order. The new order is that no gun can give you any vote because gun is not accepted in the voting center. It's your face that will give vote to your master. Is your family motivated or your friends motivated that give vote to your master? Not thuggery, not violence. So the solution is not the security agencies. The solution is the politicians who occupy offices, who are looking for offices, to reduce themselves to the principle of the law, the rule of law. Nobody should hit up the system. Political party activities, their campaign, all those things cannot be moderated by any government of any state because the Electoral Act is very, very key. So issue of making laws to regulate political party activities that can heighten tension, the security agency should refuse it. The rule of law means that respect the Electoral Act, respect the Constitution, and respect the capacity of the system to evolve to a situation where we don't need to buy extra gun because we have election. We don't need to hire extra security men because we need election. When I was growing up, the security men that goes to the polling units always carry a baton. They will laugh with you, you vote, and you go. That is what we want now. Thank you.
Well, Senator Lee Maeba, Chairman, PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Rivers State, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. We appreciate your analysis.